So welcome back, guys, and we are finally going to get into our second semi-final. Apparently, that long battle between Happy and Hempest working out in favor of Team Happy, and the Protoss and Zerg pairing will move on to face off against Team Lethality right now, who's been waiting on for that result. Leaders Council, of course, all the way in the Grand Finals, and we should be smooth sailing from here to get into this best of 3 and into this best of 5. So joining me into the casting table from the battlefield to the table right here, right now, talking about the action, we got Raigeki. So how you doing, Mr. Raigeki?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
It's been a patient time to say the least. But all I gotta say, Raigeki, it was a good effort there on round number 1. We were able to broadcast to you guys. How did it feel to actually play 2v2?
Well, for the longest time I've been playing 2v2 against AI, and I didn't expect it to be this difficult against actual real players, so it was kind of new for me.
No problem. It really goes to show when you go from one battlefield to the other, it's like everything's so different and things can just suddenly happen. And especially in 2v2, there's two people now to deal with. You're trying to coordinate your partner at the same time go for the competition. It's kind of a little dicey there. So, Mr. Raigeki, I have a question for you. From all our maps right now, which one's your favorite from our map pool actually?
I like Arctic Dream.
Arctic Dream, you like the newest one?
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
nice.
It's pretty flexible, so I like it. Although it's kind of difficult because there's a lot of entry points, so you gotta defend those.
True, that's true, and it's just so easy to get swarmed in the first place. Even though it has in those inhibitor zones, it's kind of not enough, and it is what it is. Sometimes, truly, it is what it is. Anyway, though, speaking of maps, we'll look into that best of 3 picks, and here we go. Got Emerald City for map number 1, Heavy Utility for map number 2, and Rascallion for map number 3. So I see a lot of macro potential actually for these picks. Dusty Gorge, Arctic Dream, Divergence, and FRNs all banned out. What do you think, Raigeki? What's gonna be going on for these 3 games?
Oh, I think I'm gonna be seeing a lot of rush here for the first game.
Emerald City? Interesting. It's like kind of a little far off, honestly, but you can actually go for potential pushes even though there is only one ramp on the main base. There are 2 entrances onto the natural, so you can actually look for punish there. Like I said though, it is kind of macro oriented in a way, kind of easy to defend, so we'll see what's going on. Heavy Artillery and Rascallion. You've seen Heavy Artillery have that mineral field in the way of the main ramp. Rascallion, very easy to defend with the ramp system itself, but can also be rushed, as Mr. Raigeki has said, due to the distance of the displacement points on both sides. But hey, it seems like we are going to be looking to get into our game. Zerg and Protoss versus Terran and Terran. What's the dynamic actually in 2v2 in terms of the pairing picks? What really makes a difference sometimes? What are things you can notice in terms of when a certain team picks this, what's going to be going on?
Well, it's just really about like teamwork. You gotta practice a lot with your partner in order for you guys to be well coordinated. So as for my game, it's clear that me and Stale Cookie weren't coordinated at all. So I think there's a lot of miscommunication, especially for the first game. We built up our walls, and we had conflicts regarding it.
Yeah, just if I remember correctly, the fact that there was nothing in the way and the Zerglings got in, and that is the show. It's kind of different. It's really different when you're playing 2v2 compared to 1v1. It really goes to show you just need that communication. And honestly, a game like StarCraft doesn't really form that. There are a lot of games that make teamwork, make the dream work, but in StarCraft, it really is all up to you. So sometimes when you're playing a team-based setup, it's kind of a little different and kind of a little difficult to get in tune until you guys just find the rhythm and go with the ball rolling. But finally, here we go. We're gonna get into our second semifinal. It's Idoggy and Ryuk versus Sneezy Dwarf, as well as SMTM, or basically Super Moles. That's Terran pairing looking to face off against all the aliens. It's an invasion right here, right now. And we are going to start things off on Emerald City. Let's get into the action, let's get into the battlefield, and let's get into the game. So welcome back, ladies and gents. Here we go with our second semifinal of the day. It has been a long wait here and now, but we'll see if patience is truly a virtue we can enjoy, as immediately we get an issue with a disconnect. Okay, interesting. So we start things off here and now with the pause There you go. Here for the northwest side of Emerald City, we got the pink Terran that is Sneezy Dwarf, as well as the blue Terran of Super Malls. And their opponents on the other side, we got the green Protoss of Ryuk, and his partner in crime gonna be Dougie. As hopefully the connection is gonna be a-okay. We gotta pause real quick, but what do you think here, Raigeki? What's gonna be going on for these two factions?
Oh, I'd love to see a proxy barracks just right off down the cliff of the enemy base.
Yeah, we'll look at that. Maybe we're in the wrong server actually. Can we get a check on that, Mr. Mizzle? We're on Singapore. We're on Singapore SG server, guys. So it shouldn't be lagging, honestly. So let's just handle that real quick, and hopefully everything is a-okay. But for now, it really is just gonna be a really interesting dynamic of the Protoss and the Zerg versus the two Terrans. When you're having the same faction as your teammate, isn't it a little easier to coordinate? What do you think, Raigeki?
Well, I'm not so sure on that part, but I think the units can be more well coordinated. For example, like one could build a bio, another can go mech, and then just complement each other.
That's true. That's true. It feels like you're building both builds of the same faction at the same time, and it's pretty interesting to have that full dynamic to begin with. But it seems like our players are ready to go. Our admin can just bring us back to the action whenever, and yeah, let's go back into the game. Seems like everyone has said that they are good to go, except for Sneezy Dwarf. Yeah, there you go. We got all G's, and we should be able to continue on with the action. Mr. Mizzle, feel free to do the honor so we can continue on to our sets. And yeah, anyway, seems like everything is gonna be fine and dandy here. But Emerald City, looking on around, already we see a ramp pylon there. And hey, Emerald City, if you think about the Emerald City here, Raigeki, what kind of setup do you think of?
Well, to be honest, I'm not so sure, man.
Game resumed.
Yeah, I'll just resume it myself if Mr. Mizzle isn't there. So it is what it is. So let's get into a setup like this. I would just close my eyes and see the green. Looking at this map, it reminds me of my stream overlay, just the green color itself. It's like, hey, that's me. That's my thing. Why is StarCraft stealing my thing? But it is what it is. We got our 2 racks ready to set up the wall. Supply depots are gonna be there. And on the other side, already get that hatchery first opening actually here from Dougie, and in the meantime, it will be Ryuk setting up a little bit of the wall action. But what do you think? With the Protoss and the Zerg together, do you think it's smart to actually go for the wall here on the side of the mixed team?
Well, as for this scenario, I think it's a good idea since we saw the 2 barracks right there, and I can see an early push here.
Yeah, we'll see how this is gonna pan out. Those racks gonna be looking to send things over. And there we go with our Reaper already from Super Malls. In the meantime, all the command gonna be into play as well. Pretty standard stuff, honestly, between our 2 players. And something to note, I've seen CZ Dwarf actually play in a few regional tournaments here and there. If I remember correctly, he last played in the All Die Weekly. And funny enough, he ended up facing off against Nux, and you guys can tell how that one panned out. But hey, it was good effort there and a learning experience, and hopefully he can bring it to the table here. By this point in time, second base is going to be going down and going to be finishing very, very soon. Ryuk looking to push a little forward with those pylons as well, and slow start here and now with Zerglings coming the way of Dougie. Anyway though, racks and racks, factories and factories. Command center now being built as well, and hey, looking to just expand a little more on the natural 1-1 setup. Will we get the bio? Will we get the mech? Usually we get the bio right now. Second refinery now being built by Supermos as well as Sneezy Dwarf. So it seems like they might have the same idea. So as a Terran main, Mr. Raigeki, what's going to be the plan here for our 2 Terran players?
Well, actually, first of all, I'm actually impressed on how well coordinated these 2 Terrans are. Like, they're just 2 peas in a pod, man. Like, look at their build orders. It's exactly the same.
Exactly. It really goes to show. So what's going to play here? Will this be the bio approach? We are getting the reactor to actually here from this racks instead of a tech lab or 2. Factories are set. Here we go with the tech lab right now from CZWARF. So it just might be the bio approach coming very, very soon. Supermos though with a pretty early starter right now. The more classic 1-1-1 over the newer 3 rack setup with the 3rd base before the starports. In the meantime, though, on the other side, what's going to be the plan here? Metabolic boost coming online by the 3-minute mark. We are getting a fast lair tech actually here for our Zerg player. In the meantime, Ryuk is setting up more and more into the natural state with the Forge, looking to expand with some cannons here and there. And beyond all of that, Warp Gate Research now coming online for Ryuk as well. Yeah, Zergling's gonna go for the
Yeah,
push.
I think.
There you go. Looking to get that scouting information. And that Lumberine, hey, you don't want to be there whatsoever, will get taken down pretty handily. Seems like though for Supermalls as well as Sneezydor, doesn't really have too much mark. Here comes the Hellions right now. Gonna be able to pack a punch and get the flame on. Good harassment tool into the later parts of the game. We'll see. We'll see if there can be any drone or probe kills here from our blue Terran.
That was a good response by the Terrans right here.
It's just, hey, I have Hellions, I will just burn you all, and I am good to go right here, right now. Here we go, though, with a little more Warp and Stalkers right now into the fray. Sentry gonna be there as well. Mr. Probe! Mr. Probe! Let him loose! Let him loose. There you go. But basically, it seems like we are gonna get a macro-heavy impact right now from both of our players. Both of our teams, rather. They're setting on up to set up on the natural. They already have it in their bags. Maybe looking for a third very soon. Spiretech already here for my doggy, only on 2 base. And he's going for an extra extractor to get a little more muteless into play. Now, might be a little too early to go for the Spire, even because he doesn't have that 3rd base up and running. But hey, it is what it is. On the other side though, 2 Stargates immediately from Ryuk. And will this just be an air fleet coming the way of the Terran Brigade?
Yeah, we might be seeing Tempest later on.
Can't go wrong with that, you know. They're really good massive units, and from what I've seen, it seems like these games have boiled down to bigger and better units, because already Supermall's going for the Fusion Core, building a Battlecruiser in the fray. In the meantime, Sneezy Dwarf looking for double of these factories, and we are going to get the Blue Flame here. Classic composition on the mech. Is this going to be the Hellion Cyclone build here from Sneezy Dwarf? Supermall's in the meantime going to be sending a few more Hellions as well, and it seems like it is a composition geared up to play against Zerg rather than Protoss. So we'll see if iDoggy will be able to stand up to it, and can Ryuk really save his teammate? That's going to be the real question here. Scouting information though, who knows what? Seems like there's nothing much really known on both sides, but at least these Hellions able to get out of dodge and run on away will be saved by the rest of the crews.
You know what they say, kill him with fire.
Yeah, just burn the ball! Burn them all! You look at the vision of a White Walker and just yeah, kill it with fire as much as possible. Have you ever burnt a line of ants? You know what else looks like ants right now? Supermall's looking down onto those probes, got 6 kills with a tactical warp. Very interesting that he went for the Protoss instead of a Zerg, because Stalkers are kind of better than the Queen, of course, in terms of that anti-air department, but hey, it is what it is. Phoenix gonna be coming on up as well, and yeah, you know, it really is just gonna be looking like Supermalls flying around with this capital ship.
I think it was more like a gauge of strength for Supermalls versus the Protoss. Just trying to look into what he has.
This pathway is specifically built for Hellions. It's like, okay, I guess urban planning actually happens here in Emerald City, but for now, Cyclone gets a lock on. Goodbye to that Muta. Here we go with the Hot Wheels, looking to beat back and looking to beat on down into the front line. For the cannons though are set up, run on in here from the Hellions. Not going to be very worth it here, because Supermall sacrificing a lot of HP immediately. Stalker's going to be there to go for the funnel. And what falls here? Absolutely nothing, honestly. Here we go though with Sneezy trying to do the same, taking the advantage, taking the distraction. Here goes more and more of those units. So Guard Shield right now to try and mitigate that damage. Wheel is up on top. Overall, good defense there from our P and C in composition.
That actually could have went better, like a better diversion for the Hellions.
Yeah, it was just a little too obvious. Just decided to run on in and say goodbye to everything and anything. We are going to get the Drilling Claws upgrade right here, right now into the Tech Lab. And something to note, actually, the next patch, you don't need to upgrade anymore. Just build an armory and they will get that burrow that they sweetly need. Bunch of supply depots here in behind. Something to note this game, I haven't seen too much supply block, if any, which is pretty commendable on both sides. But Sneezy Dwarf is a little over-exaggerating here. He even goes for the coal down supply a while ago, which honestly for me is a little bit of a waste of that energy. What do you think?
Well, I guess I'm not so sure either.
I mean, like, mules are so good. You just get so much money from it. Scan is an emergency thing that you need, or free information, which is always priceless. Supply is like, okay, that means you messed up maybe somewhere in the macro, and you're just basically saying, I need supply right now, I need to be okay, and that is just basically the show there. Speaking of the show, here goes the mule balls. There's a lot of mules right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, I believe, flying on the ground there to try and go for the strike. But with the missile turret set up here by Supermoles, it seems like they are going to be forced back on that. And 2v2, it seems like these games going a lot slower than usual. How about you, Mr. Raigeki? How does it feel to be, how does it feel in terms of game speed between 1v1s and 2v2s?
Well, definitely 2v2s are a lot slower than 1v1s. I think it's important for 2v2s to have your army composition all set up first before actually going for the clash. Since anything could happen once your army has been depleted, right?
Yeah, anything can happen, especially the fact that you can get counterattacked by the other side that you don't really hamper. And are we actually getting this? Is this the structure upgrade right now from Sweetie Barf? Okay, so rare to see. We take those, I guess. +1 right now coming online onto the plating as well for all of those mechanical units, and we are gonna get vehicle +1. So mech base build from Sneezy Dwarf. He is gonna go for the kinda last season, not really last season, kinda first half of the season Thor build right here. Supermole's doing the same, and yeah, solidarity between our two players playing mech in this day and age. Interesting.
Devastating.
Yeah. Raptors flying all around. And there you go with the Tempest being double pumped up. Fleet Beacon is set. And this is exactly what we were talking about earlier on. Flyers into the air. Void Rays right now. Few Phoenixes as well. Tempest gonna be there. Corruptors and Mutas. Interesting that there is barely any ground game right here right now from iDoug as well for you. If they want to control the skies and they want to do it right here right now in Emerald City, do you think this plan is gonna work out well for them?
Well, I'm not sure if the Thors can actually defend with this air army composition right here.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. Can the Thors handle it? Will we need a little more anti-air in the first place? Can Cyclones help out in this regard? But they're pretty single target there. Maybe splash damage is gonna be really, really important right now. It's just not gonna happen. That's a real question. They do have starports though, so they can go for whatever the hell they want in the first place. But we'll see though. Smart Servos, I believe, did go online, so will allow these Thors to change their weapons very, very quickly, as well as the Hellions turning into Hellbats, if I do say so myself. Oh, okay, so we got Mr. Floki leaving. Okay, so we're fine. This is the Spec dropping on out, no problem there. But the Mutas and the Corruptors gonna be looking for an engage. Sees the Thors already. Here we go with the shots though. Seems like it's the wrong, I think it's the wrong cannon fire right now. They're using the heavy one instead of the light one. But hey, it still packs a punch, right? This changeling is disgusting. The changeling is still there. Oh my god, the Widow Mine! On the side, Sneezy are trying to play it sneaky. We'll get spotted by the Overseers there. But I think for the Thors, you just want to get that other gun going. You're able to get some bonus damage onto those light units. Goodbye to another Widow Mine. I like how Sneezy is trying to play it sneaky, but speaking of sneaky, everything coming into the natural just gets torn apart again. Now, I wonder why Ryuk is doing this, because if they're playing air anyway, why are they breaking debris when this can actually help them into the future? But hey, it is what it is. On to another base. We go 3 bases right now for both our Protoss and our Zerg. And in the meantime, Sneezebarf hugging the side of Emerald City, taking the western approach. In the meantime, as we do see Supermoles already with 3rd base down below, Planetary Fortress showing its aggression. Anyway though, still into the action. Push right now coming to a shove, and Hellion's gonna be there as well as those Thors. They are gonna try to go for the push as quick as can be. And it seems like for Sneezy Dwarf, he is all macroed out and ready to go. He has the best macro in this whole game. 86 workers, 110 plus supply. And he is just looking to dominate the action. Only 50 army here for iDoug, and here for Rig is only 90 instead. Big chance right now for the Terran to just domineer and go away with this one. iDoug though flying on around with the Corruptors as well as the Mutas. Here with the Thors packing in the punch. Here goes more and more to push. The Hellions and the Hellbats doing whatever the hell they want with the Flame on board. And everything gets torn apart at the seams. The bigger army count helping things out. Corruptors completely useless against this ground-based composition. And this might be game set and match here for Steve Dwarf and Supermoles. So going for the push onto the second ramp.
Absolute total destruction, man.
They just have everything and more. It feels like the Autobots have rolled in and are looking to roll out a welcoming mat for the rest of the crew. Anyway though, we'll see how else this is gonna go. Here we go with it. The Hellbats already getting the burn on. Scan gonna be there as well. Carrier has arrived, and Carrier will fall down very, very soon to the shots. And this game set match, what went wrong there for our two alien races?
I think they took so much time, man. There was a time that they could have at least went for the harass and try to thin out the army, but then the Terrans caught up to them, and mass stores are just
Yeah, it's just strong. And the macro game on point is totally here from Sneezy Dwarf. Very, very commendable from him. Super Maul is looking to play a little aggression here and there as well. But GG is called, apparently we are not done yet. We still see Tempest in production. And that's the weirdest part of a 2v2. It's like someone calls GG, but the game isn't over yet. They're like, no, 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 we got this, mate. We got this. I'm gonna build these Tempests, I'm gonna kill everything, and immediately as soon as the Tempests come out, they die. That's how it works. XD from Mizzle, damn. Listen, Mizzle, why can't be like this, mate? Our admin just bringing in the heat. It's picking up more and more mules right now into play. And I just want to ask right now, Raigeki, what can Idoggy and Ryuk do better for next game?
You know what? The difference between them versus these two Terrans are just the exact coordination between the two of them. So individually, I think Idoggy and Ryuk is fairly good, but as a team, I think they need to work more on having more synergy, I guess, especially with the build orders.
Yeah, it looks like it. You guys have to leave the game. If you say that, you kind of just have to leave the game, guys. That's kind of how it works. You don't wait for everything to die. You don't. Okay. Maybe this is what happened. Maybe this is why this took too long. The other match took too long. Cause you just press F10, you hit that surrender, and we go next. We go next, guys. We can go next because everything is just getting blown up.
Last man standing.
Last man standing. King of the hill. Kill the spawning pool so we can go to the next game. Yes. Precisely. Okay. I am not surprised now why we had to wait around 90 minutes for this match to happen. There you go, victory goes to the two Terrans. Not surprising whatsoever. They have shown superior macro and they show superior gameplay overall.
Total destruction, man.
Just when you guys call GG, you better leave. It's like we're done, and we're okay. It's like that's it. It's already over, so we can continue on. And our next map actually is going to be Heavy Artillery LE. So the mural field a while ago that we've seen. So Mr. Raigeki, I saw you guys up temping the wall earlier on. So how does this map work? How do you actually wall in? What is the position? What is the defense in the first place?
Well, for me and Steelcook, we were planning to actually just leave one unit cell of space there so that at least a zealot can just go in and out. But then we had a miscommunication. I ended up just blocking the entire thing, and when it was time to actually attack, there was no way that her units can actually go out. So yeah, I mean for ground units, there's only one entry point through your main base in the natural, so it's kind of easy to defend.
Yeah, it just goes to show it's pretty. The fact of the matter is you have a mirror wall, and usually you don't want to mine that out unless you actually want to go for the push, and that's what this just basically is all about. But we are waiting on right now for our two guys to hop in. Are we? Why do we have Mizzle? Why do we have Vexilius in? Isn't he from the other team? Are we? Was that only a best of one? What's going on, Mizzle? Mizzle, what's happening? We're not done yet. We're not done yet, guys. We're still not done with this match. What's going on?
I think it would be interesting to see like a team cheese play in one of these games.
Yeah, it is. It's like that's how it is sometimes. And hey, can't really go wrong with that. Now we are just looking to get everyone else into the lobby, and I guess we'll be right back since if we can't call GG early, we'll have to take a while to get into the lobby. We'll see you guys real soon for game number 2. Okay guys, welcome back, and we are going to get into game number 2 right away. Finally, we are ready to go. It's Heavy Artillery, going to be our map right here, right now. Sneeze Dwarf as well as Super Moles with the decisive 1 map advantage, and we are going to be looking to get into our Heavy Artillery next. The real question is though, can Iduggy and Ryuk try and change things up and look to get the advantage? That's the real question. Team Lethality with a 1-point advantage, going to be facing off against, potentially against Leaders Council if they take this map. But we will see how this is going to unfold. Macro game so strong for the 2 Terran players. It might be too much of an advantage that is too hard to handle within the first place. But here we go into map number 2. My name is Daks, and joined with me is Raigeki for the rest of the stream. And we are going to be getting into the action very, very soon. Raigeki, what are you expecting with this kind of matchup again?
Well, I hope that the Zerg Protoss team learned that double Terran mech is just extremely destructible, man.
Yeah, it really is sometimes a little too imposing, but hey, let's get into the game. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and here we go right now on to game number 2 out of 3. If Super Moles and Sneeze Dwarf take this, they are going to be moving on to the grand finals, and we will have Protoss and Protoss versus Terran and Terran. But on the other side, if Ryuk and Iduggy can go for the reverse sweep, it might be able to change things up to begin with. But hey, introducing first, on to the northeast side of Heavy Artillery, we got the blue Terran of Super Moles and the pink Terran of Sneezy Dwarf. And their opponents on the southern west side of Heavy Artillery, we got the red Zerg of Iduggy, and then their opponents, the green Protoss of Ryuk. So yes, Raigeki, we go again. Gonna be the same old thing, and look how quick both Sneezy Dwarf and Super Moles set up their wall at the very beginning of the map.
Very insane coordination, man.
They are just on point right now with what they can really do together, and very commendable here from this Terran pairing. Reminds me truly of the Protoss pairing from the other side, but without the antics, but more on the more refined and standard gameplay, to say the least. But hey, you know, we might be jumping guns a little bit. We'll see if Iduggy as well as Ryuk can turn things around. But earlier on, they focused a little too much on the air, had no ground power whatsoever, didn't have enough of those units to begin with. And right here, right now, we are gonna see more of a setup here with the probe, with the gateway. And interesting, he has 2 pylons right now to power 1 gateway and a 3rd, so pretty early pylons here. I guess it's future proofing so he doesn't supply block himself. Cybernetic score and a forge also. Nice build. Okay, we take those. Hatchery first though, I believe, did come for Iduggy as someone is lagging out into the game. And there we go! Proxy racks, finally something a little cheesy here from the 2 Terran setup.
Well, this should be interesting.
No, that will be interesting. The lag spikes hopefully going away. Hope these guys are a-okay in their latency. Let's check the server real quick. We are in Singapore, so it's no problem right there. Reaper Rush potentially, because we see 2 Reapers right now in production here for Super Moles. In the meantime, for Sneezy Dwarf with the Proxy Barracks, he might be able to bring in more and more of those units. And it's something we were talking about earlier on. If you can basically do the same kind of build with your teammate, you might be able to just pack in double the punch. Zerglings right now being kited basically. Lag spikes again though. Hopefully everything is a-okay here. Iduggy will be sending that one in. Oh, gotta pause. And we'll see what's gonna be going on here.
You know, I think that's the advantage of, having a teammate the same race as you. It's a lot easier to put up a strategy that's effective against the enemy.
Yeah, we're gonna be looking to be a-okay here. Mizzle, can you check this one out? And hopefully everything can pan out in favor of, the latency and everything. We are on an SC server, so we can't really do anything else about that. And I guess we can come back into this one instead. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Game resumed.
So here we go, we're back into the fight. Reaper's going for the hits onto the Zerglings. Here comes Super Moles still going to the high ground. And it's going to be really good harassment against these probes immediately. What does Rio have? He has a Zealot. And that is it. Nothing can chase these Reapers right now. This is going to be pretty decisive already here, Mr. Raigeki. Unless something big can happen for Iduggy and Ryuk. Lag spike again though. And the Zealot's trying to get in position. Oh, it's Mizzle lagging out apparently, so that's a little bit of a problem there. We'll see if our observer can be a-okay into this one as well. These Reapers, Missile, if you're lagging out too much, just drop yourself and just go. Yeah, drop if ever.
Economy is just instantly shattered, just like that.
Yeah, and the latency, come on, mate. Yeah, you gotta make it a little better for our players, but you know, it might already be over. 3 minutes in, this Reaper Rush looking a little too decisive, and these lag spikes hurting everyone into the game. But all these pros torn apart, beautiful Reaper Rush from the 2 Terran players. And I guess this is just basically it. If there's no real defense, the creeps for this is gonna be there. One stalker right now, gonna be looking to keep things up. Going for the stun step right now. Beautiful micro right here right now. Even splitting up these Zerglings. And very exciting stuff actually. These Reapers staying alive. And that is just basically everything torn apart at the seams. Sneezy Dwarf and Super Ball showing their opponents that they are just basically better right now. And they're tearing everything apart. Yet again, that stalker will go down to the focus fire. These Zerglings trying to stay alive. The Protoss has already been crippled to fruition. And what can iDoggy do right now in basically a 1v2 state? Oh my god, these Reapers, Raigeki, they are just badass and looking to destroy everything. Queen right now trying to get in position. Here we go, the cluster bomb gets the bounce on. Desperate spine crawler right now. Here we go with more of those bombs. But these Zerglings getting torn apart again by the pistols. And it really goes to show that it is just basically John Wick right here, right now, assassinating everyone else. Getting the shots on. There we go with the Queen getting taken down. And this main base is just free pickings for these Reapers. The Cowboys are here and now. The Protoss getting the Nexus destroyed. Zerglings now into the fray. It doesn't even matter because the combat drugs are really taking effect. Morlings still coming this way. And we'll see if there's gonna be victory right here, right now for our Terran players. They are just getting everything they want and more. And this Reaper Rush looking very effective. Roach though might be able to turn things around, but if there's only one of them funneled on in, it's just not gonna happen. Folded cannon behind, but it's an Artosis pile in here. Raigeki, and everything is shut down.
OP mobility, man. OP mobility.
If you know how to move, you know how to shoot. And this is just going to be wrangling their way to victory. High ground right now almost going to be taken here by Sneezy Dwarf. He stays on the edge. He might be able to get the shots there. But it seems like if neither... This is just basically GG. Only iDoggy can do something. He has 1 army supply. Never mind, he has no army whatsoever. Drones only. Desperate GG is called.
GG.
And there you go. We have our finalists, ladies and gentlemen. We are done right here. iDoggy gonna be dropping on out of the game. And there we do see the lead finally. Super Malls and Sneezy Dwarf making the Reaper Rush happen. A 5-minute game there. It seems like our wait time longer than our play time. Congratulations to our Terran and Terran setup. Moving on to the next round.
That is absolutely beautiful.
The Reaper was so on point, and that is just what that is all about. It really goes to show, though, it was just more superior play, honestly, from both Super Malls as well as his partner Sneezy Dwarf, and heavy artillery taken by them. There we go, guys. Quick little recap of our results, and congratulations to our Terran pairing. And that means Lethality going to be facing off against Leaders Council. It seems like the wait is over, and we are going to be getting into the action very soon. Grand Finals coming up very, very soon, and it will be actually up next here. And stay tuned, stick around. This is the SCPH Dual Meet Juniors Bracket, sponsored by ROG Internet Cafe, as well as presented by me and DLS Missile.